Hello, content creators. Today I want to show you the 3 scenes I use in every live stream that I do and why simplifying my setup made it a lot easier to consistently show up online. Now, I used to think the reason I wasn't live streaming consistently was because my setup wasn't good enough yet. I thought I needed more scenes, more layouts, better graphics, better transitions, zooming in and out, and a more professional setup. And what actually happened was every extra thing became another decision. So eventually it started feeling like there were too many moving parts before I could even press go live. So today in this live stream, I want to show you the simple setup I use now, and we're actually going to build it together from scratch inside of Ecamm. Now, even if you don't use Ecamm, the ideas in this video will still apply because this isn't really about, or this is really about simplifying the process of showing up online. And I personally use Ecamm on my Mac. This is not a sponsored live stream. I just use them all the time. So that is what I'm going to be using to demonstrate how I create my scenes for my live streams. And if you want to check it out, I do have an affiliate link down in the description below. But the important thing today is the workflow, not the software. Okay, so if you are here live with me, make sure you say hello in the live chat. And of course, if you are watching on replay, type team replay and participate along with any of the questions I ask, or if you have any aha moments, because as we all know, typing, writing, those physical things that we do will help retain the information. And it actually, I think there are studies that have shown that it helps you be more accountable and retain the information a lot better. So I do have a question for you if you are too shy to say hello. And of course, my mouse, where is my mouse? There it is. I have a question for you. Do you feel stuck more with the technical setup or actually knowing what to do when you do go live? So let me know whether you're here in the chat or watching on replay. Is it the tech setup or actually going on replay? Hello, yay, thank you so much, Betty. So I have my friend Crazy Sexy Menopause Betty right here in the chat. So she actually let me know that my first original live stream, my microphone died midway, so I had to change it up. But thank you so much for joining me, Betty. I appreciate you being here so much. So let me know, is it the technical setup that's keeping you stuck, or actually what you need to say once you go live? Okay, so what are we going to be doing today? We are going to build the 3 exact scenes that I use every time for all of my live stream. But before we do that, let me quickly show you my examples of what we're creating today. So the examples that I have that I'm going to show you are the ones I use here for Marianne on YouTube. I use a similar scene setup for my other channel, Marianne Crest, on my planning and productivity channel. I just changed the trademark name. I'll trademark my icon, maybe the border, the branding colors, and the background. But essentially, they are all pretty similar. Yes, I am glad you caught me live as well, Betty. I appreciate you being here. So Betty and I are content creator friends, and we are always catching up and powwowing together. And it's important that you also need to find those people that helped drive you to be more consistent and to inspire you and motivate you. And so Betty does that for me as well. So like I said, I'm going to show you the 3 scenes that I use in all of my live streams. So these are the examples that you will see now, but we are going to build one from scratch. Now, just to let you know also that, what was I going to say? Brain fog. All right, okay, the first one, talking head. Okay, so this is the scene 1. So I would call this the talking scene, me, the host, or when I label this scene, it will just say just me. So then I know that, oh, that scene is just me. Okay, so main talking scene, and this is where most of my live stream at least happens. It's very simple, very clean, nothing complicated. I mean, this one here, I've aesthetically, made it a little bit more prettier. I've got borders around. I've got my logo. I've got the grid line background. So, but if you wanted to keep it simple, you can also have the camera just, right to the edges of the 16:9 window. All right, so scene one is the talking head or the host or me scene. Scene two that I always use, so for my other channel, Marianne Cresp, I have my top-down camera showing my desk because I am a planner on paper. So this would be your demonstration. So this could be your desk if you're an artist, if you're cooking, if you are doing product reviews or unboxing. You can also have this, so you can have a second camera maybe showing behind the scene. Or if you're Betty, for in her Crazy Sexy Menopause channel, she talks about mindset, movement, and meals. So she could have a second camera showing her doing some movements to strengthen your bones or to help you strengthen your core. Okay, so demonstration scene. Here I have my camera. On Ecamm, you can create the camera with you in it in different shapes. I have it as a circle, you can have it as a square, a squircle, or you can customize it to fit whatever works well with your brain or how you aesthetically like to see your scene. But let's keep it simple. Now, some demonstration or some channels may not want to have themselves in the scene. So they'll just have their demonstration. That is okay as well. But where am I? Let me bring me back. But you being in the scene is your unique selling point. There are probably lots of other creators doing similar things to you, but people connect with people. So put the best, unique selling points in your video, which is you. Okay, so don't be shy, don't be afraid. We'll talk about later on if the things that's holding you back is, maybe how you look or how you sound or the fear that people will say something about you. We'll talk about that later on. But have yourself in the scene as much as possible without, of course, distracting whatever it is you're talking about. So really important. So this is your demonstration, maybe a second camera, you doing actual show and tell. Now the other one, so I'm going to call this scene 2A because the similar setup I'm going to call it 2B. So instead of actual physical show and tell, you might be a teacher, a coach, you might have a consultation a business where you need to show slides or PDFs or presentation. So instead of a camera like this, you might want to have a presentation. So you might want to have a PowerPoint presentation, keynote. Now this presentation here, I have it in Canva. So I created all my slides in Canva, and I can press a button that says present, and then I can toggle through each of the slides I have created. So for this particular one, it was an old course that I offered a couple of years ago, and looking back at these scenes, I might offer it again because a lot of it's really good. So, it will have the intro slide, whatever, the module that you might be talking about, housekeeping slides, and then you can move into whatever you are presenting. So for scene 2 that I mostly use in my live stream, I will have 2 versions. The desk scene, ta-da, as well as a presentation scene. So for the moment, I don't do any courses yet or any webinars or anything where I'm showing a PowerPoint, but it's always good to have a scene like this ready. So whenever you need to present something in this type of format, you have it already ready to go, and it's just a matter of changing the slides. Okay, so like I said, I use these scenes for teaching something, showing my screen, planning, or walking through a process. Again, very simple. We have a camera overlay or a presentation or screen share overlay with myself in the scene. Okay, so then the final scene that I use in all of my live stream is the check the chat scene. So you saw me use that when Betty from Crazy Sexy Menopause showed up. Okay, this is probably one of my most useful scenes that I have added. This is dedicated check the chat scene. So of course, if you have people coming into your live chat, it is really a great opportunity, first of all, to engage with them, get them to say something, type something in, because you know what? A lot of people love to see their name pop up on screen, because one of the things that people love is to hear their name or be acknowledged. Okay, so things like glad I could catch you live, and I will show you as well how you can create a placeholder. So if you're creating your scenes before you even have any live chat, Ecamm allows you to pop in a placeholder comment, just like this one right here, that then when you do click on a live chat, it will retain the settings and that you have for it. Okay, so instead of trying to read comments while you're also teaching on screen, having a check chat scene gives you a specific moment to slow down and focus on your audience. And of course, it is also really useful later if you are going to repurpose your live stream into clips or shorter highlighted videos, because then the chat overlay isn't covering up the entire time. So, you know, if you do bring up a chat, let's say you are showing your desk and then you have the chat showing up, it can distract from maybe an edited clip, because people go, what's that chat doing there? It doesn't, it may not relate to the edited video on demand version video that you might want to repurpose from your live stream. Okay, so that is a really great scene to have. So we have 3 scenes. Okay, so I have my talking scene. Hello everybody, nice to see you. This is where you do your intro, where you might want to, you know, have that connection a little bit better with the audience and no other distraction. You might want them to get to lean in. So this is a really good scene to have. If you're doing show and tell, you can do a second camera, showing your hands, doing some planning, coloring in, knitting, cooking. And if you are a teacher, you might also want to have a presentation scene, as well as, of course, to create that engagement, have the check chat. It's dedicated just for that, and it's a lot easier for repurposing your content for your video on demand or highlighted videos. Okay, so really important. And as Betty says, that's a good point. So yeah, really important. These are the things that you will learn as you go through, but that's what I'm here for, is to help you fast track to those moments right away. So then that way, you know, you're not trying to scramble. So of course, if you are liking any of the things I share with you, make sure to hit that like button and of course subscribe, so then you will get notified of when I do share more information to make live streaming and showing up online a lot better. Okay, so those are the 3 scenes we're going to create today. That's it. We are not building a TV studio today. Okay, I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of creators make when starting live streaming is they try to build their final setup before they've even built the habit of going live, creating those live streaming habits, stumbling, getting nervous, getting used to where you have to click, what scenes you need to show up. And really, to be clear, if you have watched some of my live streams, you'll notice I actually do use a lot more than these three scenes than what we're going to create today. But I didn't start there. I started with me scene and then building along. So those scenes came later through repetition. So over time, I noticed, patterns, what I repeated often. Oh, I need to create that scene again. Oh, instead of me trying to find a scene, go back to, the order, I'll just recreate those scenes. And also, what are things that are making things easier for me to stream? So I have my husband and my sons have come back from there, and so I'll try and make sure I keep them a bit quiet, okay? And then it's also, over time you'll see what is going to help improve your flow and what is going to reduce the friction while you are live streaming. All right, so that's going to be very different from trying to build a huge setup even way before you feel comfortable going live consistency. So really important, your setup should evolve from you using it, not from pressure, not from comparison, not seeing what everyone else is doing. Okay, so for me, I realized I wasn't avoiding live streaming because I didn't care about it. I was avoiding it because the setup felt more complicated than it needed to be. I got stuck in my own head that I got to have this, I got to have that, I got to have this. I saw someone else do that, I got to have that too. So the goal today is not perfection. The goal is reducing the friction. Okay, so are you ready? We are going to go live. I'm going to click on the live demo on Livestream. And then that way I am going to show you from scratch how I build, keeping it simple, how I build those 3/4, because there's two of them might be similar. Now, if you are watching live or if you are watching on replay, make sure you stick to the end because I do have something for you. I'm going to make it, Marianne is going to make things easier for you because I may have scenes already created for you that you can pop into your Ecamm and start live streaming right away. Okay, so let's start from scratch. Let me go put the live demo on so you can see my whole screen. So when you do, first of all, let me just let you know, when you first sign up to Ecamm, all these different windows are going to pop up. So you have scenes window, overlays window, comments window, sound levels and applause, and some many other things. You don't need to use them all. And I like to tidy up my desktop so then everything fits nicely on the screen. So if you go and download Ecamm from ecamm.com using my affiliate link in the description, when you first sign up, all of this will be all over the place. Do not be scared, okay? So the scenes that I use, the windows I use the most are scenes, overlays, the comment, sound level. So then hopefully I do check that my audio is working, and some sound effect. And of course, the big window for what is being streamed outside. Okay, so I won't go too much into the details of these, what each window is all about. I will create a more detailed from the beginning or a starter video. So don't be scared. You can always check Ecamm channel for Jill, the community manager there, with some great beginner tutorials. So this is not going to be a full tutorial live stream. So we're going to start off with the host talking. So I'm going to be off camera because remember, we're starting from scratch. Okay, so let me know if you are here. Give me a thumbs up. So we are going to do the first one, which is the host talking scene. Now, when you do first open up Ecamm, you will have, let me quickly, here there's this little cog setting. So that is your preference. And then let me just move this one here. I think in video, is it video? In video tab on the left right here, there is a default source mode. I I think the default source when you first join up is camera. So whatever camera you have connected to your computer, to your Mac, that's the scene, that's the overlay that will show up. But change it to blank. So then that way you have the ability to go and customize it as you want. Now this, thank you so much. Betty Crazy Sexy Menopause is saying everything is good. So here, this blue background, if we go, and I'm going to just embiggen, make this big. So in overlays, think of overlays as like if you've ever done Photoshop. So it's layers. Okay, these are layers. You can have different things to show in all scenes, in the current scene, or in the background. As you can see here, I have a rectangular shape that I just colored in. So if you first start, this of course won't be there, and you will just have a blank black background. So on Ecamm, you can add shape to your scene, just like I have here, and I am showing it in all background. So then all of my scenes will have this blue background, right? So you can even add, so there's the shape overlay. You can add a picture. So if you have maybe a background you want to use yourself, right? So that is the first thing. And I have that rectangular background, blue background showing in all of the background. Here, can you see? It's all already, I've already pre-made these different scenes so today's live stream doesn't go too long. And I have also labeled them, so then that way, when I am creating my shows, I know exactly what these scenes are called. All right, so the first one, we talked about talking head. Well, I'm going to add a camera. So see, new camera overlay. Let me see if I can zoom in. Of course, I don't have my Stream Deck because this is a new profile. I'm going to add a new camera. There we go. So we are going to choose, so here is a little pencil icon, and I'm going to choose my front-facing camera. Ta-da! Welcome back, Marianne. Okay, so here, whatever your last settings were for a camera, that's what it will have. It'll retain that information. So now I'm a little bit small here. So if we right-click on it, we can either center the overlay, so that's right in the middle, or we can resize to fill the whole canvas. Let's go. Boop. Why, hello there, content creators. We can keep it just like this. You don't need to have it fancy like I have with this one, where I have, removed the edges of the camera a little bit closer so it's not right to the edge, because sometimes people might watch your show on different size monitors or screens. So by moving it away from the edge, if you have anything on there and maybe their monitor is not an exact 16:9 shape, this will allow you to have room to wiggle. And if you had anything on the edges that you might want to show, especially maybe if you're a movie maker and there's some things that might be on the edges, you might want to move it off the edge. So let me show you how to do that. So this is that one, okay? So we made this resized to fit the screen. So if we just, see how there's a little, where is it? A little hand, okay, little hand there. If we just move the overlay, which is the camera, away from the edge, then we can go and grab the corner just right here to make it smaller. And then this great thing with Ecamm is you have these little guidelines that help you snap it towards the edges. So let's just snap it at the top, snap it to the left, and then just drag the corner. So if you drag the corner, that will make the whole overlay, whatever overlay it is, bigger or smaller. So let's just go boop, right to the edge. So let's make that in the middle, and see, now I'm right in the middle. Whoop. Okay, so you want to make sure you placed yourself in the middle. So that's easy. We could leave it at that. All right, now this particular one, remember how I said it retains whatever setting you had previously. It's hiding behind there. So let me just move these for a second so we can see this one. Oh, come on, move it a bit. Okay, so it retained that I had color border. So let's pretend we're starting from scratch, no border. The shape is wide, 16 by 9. If I wanted, I can change it to 4 by 3, a square, a circle, a squircle. So it's a circle, it's a square with rounded corners, or you can customize it. So if I wanted to customize it, I might want to move the edge. See how it's got the two side to side arrow? I can have it all the way to the edge there and all the way to the edge there. It snaps beautifully. And then now that fills up that space, the window, broadcast window, a lot better. So again, that is another way. You can just leave it as is. I'm just going to move these back because I'm glitching if things aren't lined up. Okay, so that's one. So if you wanted to create a border, you right click it. Oh no, sorry, pardon me. Let's go back. You go over here to the pencil, and then because what it should be able to move on the other side. Let me just make this smaller. Wow, where did I go? Should be like over there, but because I have my screen right to the edge of my monitor, of course this window is showing up here. So you can have the border as color. Let's make it for the moment. I'm going to, if we click the color wheel, then you have the color window. Let's just make it white. So there's a border. You can make the border thick or very, very thin. Okay, let's do 5. I think I like 5. And then you can also round out your corners. So see here, you can round out only either side or all of the sides. And again, your corners radius, you can change that as well. I think I like mine 27. I don't know why. 27. So that was mine. How are we going? So far, so good. Hang on a This can be your talking head, nice and easy. But you might want to go, I might see if I can make this a bit smaller, just so then that window will show up nicely without me having to move all of these. Come on, catch it, catch it. I might just make this a bit smaller. See how the windows, you can make it smaller. And if you're like me who may have ADHD tendencies, want to have everything all lined up. Okay, so we have our talking head. What if you want to also have your name on it? Well, on Ecamm you can. So in overlays, as you can see here, you can add a text. Come on. Oh, it shows up. I have a second monitor. So let's say I'm going to put Marianne. Marianne, and my tag handle Marianne on YouTube. Okay, or you might want to have a title that shows whatever your scene's going to be about. And I wanted to have, actually, I want the text to be blue. And see here, it has a shadow effect. I don't want a shadow effect. And actually, I don't want a background because I'll show you this one. So no background. I want it blue. And we're going to add the text there. And you might go, there's no contrast there, Marianne. What are you doing? So what I might do is I might just manipulate. Oops, that's the Pro Mouse. I don't want the drawing. It's okay. So that drawing there is not an Ecamm. It's the Pro Mouse that I'm using. I must have the drawing preference on. But however, I don't want the blue on blue. It's not going to stand out. I'm going to add a shape. So let's add a shape. I want to have that color to be white. And I don't want it to have rounded corners. And I want to maybe add it here. We're going to add it right here, maybe make it. So you can do all of this natively in the Ecamm scenes and overlays. So you don't have to create separate graphics or anything like that. So I'm going to put that here. See how you can't see the blue? Because in the overlays window, remember how I said this is like Photoshop where you have layers. The text, which is blue, is under the rectangle. So all you got to do is you got to move it above. So just imagine everything that's on top is the top layer and everything underneath will be at the bottom. So then there we go. That looks better. Maybe we can make that a little bit bigger. And what if I want to add my logo? Now, I didn't prepare a logo, my actual logo. Maybe I might just go towards here and I'm going to grab this logo. So this might be a little bit too much at the moment. That's okay, but I'll show you in a sec this one. So let's go back to this one we're creating. I want that logo over here. Okay, let me just move that so you don't, I'll have that. We'll pretend this logo is already, look at that. There's Marianne on YouTube. So this one here is a graphic, a PNG with a transparent background graphic. So that could be my talking head or host. What do you think? You go, hi everybody, welcome to today's live stream where I'm going to talk about A, B, and C to help your problem with this, this, and this. I'm liking this very much. Okay, scene one ready to go. And if you are only doing a lot of maybe podcasting and you don't have guests on, and a lot of your content is just talking to the camera, this could be one. And then later you can duplicate this exact scene. So then that way you may have it. So then, so here it's highlighted. You can see that faint gray line. And then these two little boxes is a copy. So all it did is copied that one. So host talking scene, maybe this one is host without text. Okay. So if that's the host without text, then I might want to delete this. So let me just make this. I might delete the text. I might delete my logo. And I might delete the rectangle. And then if you press on your keyboard option key and you have this, the two arrows up and down or side to side, you can make, so instead of making the whole camera overlay bigger or smaller, you can widen or narrow or shorten or make your overlay taller. Okay, so maybe it's just this one. So just from this particular scene, host scene or talking head scene, we just copied it. And then we took everything else that we didn't want. So now I could be going, welcome to Marianne, or hi, I'm Marianne. Welcome to Marianne on YouTube. Today I want to talk about, so you put you big without any distractions. What do you think? Pretty good. Okay, so that is scene one. So this is this two scenes we created today. That one and that one. Same one. It's just actually, let me just spacing. I'm making sure the spacing. Don't be like me and get stuck on the small stuff. So, but that me scene is exactly something like this. All right. So I don't normally have my text introducing me because it's already me. It's my channel, Marianne, on YouTube. So I have it all there. You don't want to make it too redundant that you have it, you know, all these like flashing lights. That's unnecessary. Okay, so that is my host scene, and you saw me create it live right now. Okay, so what's the next scene that I said I normally use? That is a demonstration scene. So let's start again from the beginning. So I would want me, so there's the camera overlay right here. I'm going to select it as camera. Oh, this is when we have to just move it a bit so it fits the window that pops up here. So the camera that you see me in front of is my USB camera. There I am. Maybe I want this one to be a circle. Circle there. And so I probably won't want me that big, so I'll just make myself smaller or bigger by grabbing the corner. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And then I want to show my desk. And my desk camera, the one above, is a cam link. So again, I'll go to the camera, add another camera. So remember, whatever the setting was from your previous edition of a camera overlay, it'll retain it. But I'm going to choose my cam link. I don't want it to be a circle. Maybe I want it to be, let's customize it. Okay, so let me make it click right to the top corners, and then I can put it right there. So that looks nice. But where did I go? Well, because my USB camera, so I'm going to rename that as me, and I'm going to rename this as desk. So it's a lot easier for you, especially if you have similar named cameras. Now I'm there, and I'll probably just move me a little bit. I normally wouldn't have all of these in the background distracting, because you don't want anything behind your camera to be distracting, because they'll go, where is she? Where is she talking from if you have all these things right there? Okay, so guess what? There is my demonstration scene, demo scene. Again, you can use a camera that may be shooting you from top, behind, could be a behind the scene camera. So if you have a sewing machine, or you're doing tinkering in the garage and anything like that, this could be your demonstration scene. Okay, nice and easy. Or if you wanted, sometimes I have my scene, my demonstration scene like this. I might change this to a custom, and I might have it here. Maybe I'll have myself here. Okay, these things you can play around with later, but don't let it stop you from going live. Let me just grab my Marianne on YouTube. So here is an overlay of a PNG file. If I highlight it, can you see how I can move it? Like anything in the Mac, you can actually drag it to another scene. So there it is. I don't want it that small. Maybe I'll make it bigger. And then I don't want it to be so prominent. So if you press the pencil, you can create, make it maybe opaque, because you don't want it to be too in front of your face, and maybe have it there, make it maybe line up there. Okay, two different scenes. Did I? Oh, actually, I should have duplicated it. So if you want to change up any of your scenes, you can always duplicate it. So grab the scene, press, where's my keyboard? Oh, actually, no, I don't need this one. This two little squares, duplicate current scene, make sure it is the one that's highlighted, and then you can go and duplicate it. So maybe this one is demo scene, side by side. Because what might happen is maybe you want to do different shows where you don't want to have a circle. You might want to have, I'll take this off. So let's take this one off, and then let's make this one go back to the edge. Whoops. Why isn't it going? Why isn't it going? Oh, because I think I have it not as a custom. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's custom. Oh, oh, because I just got to go and I don't need to press the option key. Okay, let me make sure that's there. And let's change this back to a circle. Circle, where are you? Circle. And I don't want it to be that big. Maybe I'll pop it there. So this one, let's go and do this circle frame. Okay, so name as you go, try and name your scenes as well as your overlays, whatever it is that'll make sense. So then when you are live streaming, you can know exactly, oh, I want to go into the scene that has a side by side. So maybe, you know, this is a new video where no one knows you yet, and you want to make sure that your Marianne on YouTube name gets remembered. So I want it to be like in their face. I want the name of the channel to be in their face so they can recall it. What was that channel again? Oh, yes, it was the Marianne on YouTube. Or if you just want it simple, circle like this, where you're talking, you're showing, you're flipping through, you know, you're doing your demonstrations, okay? Those are two different scenes for our demonstration. Okay, so how are we going? Are we enjoying it? Okay, so we have done host, we have done the demo scene where we do this, and then let's do another demonstration where you are presenting a tutorial. Whoops. You are presenting a course. All right. If you wanted, you can, of course, start from scratch and add a camera here. But if you already like a camera setting from a different scene, so maybe I like this one. What you can do is have it highlighted in your overlays window and then drag it to this scene right here. And let's have a look. Ta-da! It's right there. So that's one way if you've already started to establish different camera or scene overlays that you just want to duplicate. All you got to do is highlight it in whatever scene it's in and drag it to a scene you want it to go to. Okay, so this one is a demonstration. I actually also like this. So if you click on any of the overlay, it'll highlight it in the overlays window. So whoop, especially if you have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of overlay and you go, which one is that? Okay, so if you click on that, it'll highlight it. So that one, I want that to also be on this demo scene. There it is. Now this one, I'm going to put it as presentation scene. All right. Now I have off on another monitor, I have connected my iPad as an extended monitor. That is where I have Canva on a screen share. So let me show you this one right here that looks like a little monitor, new screen share overlay. Okay, so I'm going to click that. So at the moment, it is showing my whole desktop here. So let me just position it. So the great thing with that clicking, see how that grid, you can line it up beautifully. Okay, let's go there. So at the moment, it is showing so if we click the pencil icon, it is, whoops, because it's hiding there. Let me just go put this here. Pencil icon. It is showing my primary display, which is my iMac monitor. I actually want it to show, so if we click down the drop down button, you can have the secondary display, or if I have another actual display, which is my second iPhone that I use as my teleprompter. So if I wanted, I can show what's on my teleprompter right now. Let's see, make sure. Nope. Oh, no, that's tertiary. Oh, that's the tertiary. So tertiary is my iPad. The secondary is my teleprompter right here. Okay, so let's go back to tertiary. Okay, so that's my screen share. So my Google is open. Or I can also do my Ecamm. So if I wanted, I can share any of these windows here, Google Chrome, okay, which is exactly the one that's on my current. Now, I don't want to show all these things on my, whoop, let me just, I don't want to show all the different things that beyond what I'm presenting. So if you hover your mouse on any of the edges until you get those two little arrows, press down on the Option key on your keyboard. You can then crop it, or of course, or you, if you wanted, let me just do that. If I wanted, I can just make my presentation full screen. Okay, so present and then full screen. Oops, where did it go? Where did it go? Let's do my secondary, tertiary. Okay, that way. But I want to show you how you can crop. So if you do get anything that is, you know, I don't want everyone to see my you know, the tabs that I have open. So then just make sure you hover your mouse over the edges, press Option key, and then you can go and just show the bits of the share screen that you want. Now that purple line, I don't know if you do see that on screen. Let me see if I actually, oh no, I can't change because I'm showing this. Okay, let's just do that. That's my Pro mouse. I forgot to turn off my drawing. So now we can drag this right at the edge and then maybe to there. So this is not a true 16 by 9. So I might want to place that in the middle. Let me place, I like this one, and maybe just so then, you know, the eye, it's all lined up. So these are the things you can play around with later. Again, it doesn't have to be precise to begin with. I have made so many changes to my scenes because I'll either get inspired by some other scenes that I like, and then maybe that's probably, see how, because I can't expand this closer to the edges, I want to then make everything else line up. All right, now how does that one look? So this, let me go back. Okay, so if you wanted to go and present a, you know, slides, whether it's PowerPoint, you can share your PowerPoint that's on your computer, Keynote, if you have open a Keynote, when you click this little pencil icon, you can choose whatever it is that you want to share, whether it's the primary display, secondary display, or anything else that show up here. So I'm going to show my tertiary display, which is my iPad that you can't see on my big monitor. So this is my Canva presentation. So now let us just say I am welcoming my students who purchased my course, okay? And then I will go and click this. Welcome everybody to Plan with Purpose. And today, before we start, let's do some housekeeping rules and blah, 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 blah. Let's get started. So you can either do this when you are presenting your course, or if you are going live, that you require supporting visuals. So remember, you can also have PDFs. You can also have an image. You can also share a video. So all of the things you can share in a scene like this is an image right here. Let's see if it'll label it for me. This one is, whoops, this one is a video. You can share a video. There we go, new movie overlay. This one is an image. This is a screen share that I'm using right now. You can add text. You can add text box overlay. You can add a shape. So remember, the shape that you see here, the blue background, that's just a rectangle shape that I have added show in my background. So that's my backdrop. You can add an image if you want, if you have nice, you know, those swirly whirlies and fancy, you know, overlays, you can have that. You can also add a timer. We'll do that on another video. You can add a widget. So if you can actually share a website, so then you can control the website right on your Ecamm scene. And of course, there's the camera, and you can create folders in your overlay so it keeps it nice and neat. Excellent. So we have Betty saying beautiful. Thank you, Betty. So far we have I've created right here with you 2 versions of the host, me, okay, talking head with the text on screen or a label, or just me fully. So that's scene 1 is just you. I've just shown you two different versions today. The other important scene to have is either a demonstration scene, right? Blah, 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 blah. Or, so I have this as 2 versions, either demo, and you can, with this one, you can have 2 different setups, up to you. And then the other one, so I guess it's 2B, is the presentation, is if you do want to share a slide. So then that way, while you're talking, I mean, you don't want to have just as a presentation or teaching moment, is you don't want to just share. Remember how at school teachers would just put the slides and it's full of text and it's like no one reads that. You just want to put bullet points. So for those that are also love to learn visually and love to see the text or supporting images to help solidify the thing you are sharing, then you would want to have a demonstration or a share presentation scene. All right. So that's 2 scenes so far we have done right here live with you. Where are we? Let's have a look. We are 51 minutes in. We're nearly there. We've got some more. One more scene. The important one that I said is really great to help increase the engagement, to help your viewers be part of your community. You start to, the more the more often you go live, you're going to see a lot of people who start to show up. If you are here right now, say hello. And if you want your name to be popped up on the screen, I would love for you to do that. And that is great by having a dedicated check comments, or I normally have check chat, however you want to name it. Okay, check chat. All right, so again, this is blank. The only thing on it is the rectangle shape that's shown in the background. So again, let us put us on the screen. Let's add a camera. This time we're going to do it, add a camera from the click. So we have, I'm going to choose my camera, the USB, and this one I think I'm going to customize. Okay, let's customize it. Let's first, I'm going to put it right on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, my monitor, so if you weren't here earlier, my monitor is to my left. So I'm going to be looking at here to, where the check that I'm showing the right scenes, I'm looking at it to make sure it's all lined up. But if your monitor is to your right, you might want to put this over here. So then when you are reading the chat, like here, it looks like you are looking at the actual chat box. Okay, so it just depends. So I think last time when I first got my iMac, I had it on the right-hand side of my desk. So then when I was checking my monitor, I would be looking here. So you would want the comments, whatever you're looking at, make it look like you're looking at it when you are broadcasting. So for me, it'll be this side. All right, so that's a good start. Now, this is the example that I want. So this is my current check chat scene for Marianne on YouTube. Now, this one here, the little, if I click on it, that is an image. So I just got that from Canva. We won't do that today because I want to just show you, remember, we're simplifying it. But let's put a rectangle in the check chat box. So here is the shape. Can you see? Okay, we're going to add one. And remember, whatever shape you created last time is it's going to retain that. So we're going to make this a square. Oops. Let's do that. And here is the beauty with Ecamm. Again, not a sponsored live stream, but if you want to elevate your live streaming or your recording, you can. This is the beauty of being able to customize your scenes later, not when you're first starting out, later, and then you can customize it. So if you right click on whatever scene it is and you copy, you're not, there's two things. You can either copy what it is, or you can transfer whatever setting you have here. So we have a white border and you can paste. Of course, our rectangular scene is white. White on with white border does not stand out. So let's go and click the pencil icon, and then the border color, let's change that to blue. May not stand out against the blue. Let's just, for today's purpose, we're going to pick your, ooh, that is too much. Let's have a look. Here at the top of the color chart, you've got the wheel, and I think let's pick this one. This was the one of the yellows. Okay, so it's a little bit better. It's a better yellow against my blue. Or you can have the color, instead of a solid color, you can have gradient. And then gradient will pick two colors. Or you, so let's pick this blue, and then let's pick the second color as yellow. So then against the edges here, it stands out a bit more. So these are just the aesthetic side of things. You don't have to do it when you are first starting, but just for demonstration purposes while we are here, let's do that. So if we bring in, now if I bring in Betty's chat right here, beautiful, whatever the setting was when I first had it, it's going to retain it. So we may have to change the setting. All right, so there it is, because that setting here fits beautifully on my established check chat. Okay, that's specifically made for this scene. But if you are creating a new scene, which is this one, so if we pop that on there, we might just have to go and change it. Move that. Let's go pick the pencil and let's edit the text. We don't want the text white because we have a white background. So there's the text color. Let's make it the blue. Okay, let's save that. Let's pop Betty's comment back there. Now it looks like it also has a shadow. I don't want the shadow because it makes the font look hazy and look blurry. So here you can see the shadow. Let's untick that. Make sure you're saving, and let's bring it back. Bring it back, okay? And then we can now have that there. And then this is when later, if you wanted. So let me just go to, I think, my presentation scene. I'm going to click Marianne on YouTube, and I'm going to drag that. So let me just slow that down. So I clicked the overlay. It is here, highlighted in my overlays window. If I press my mouse cursor and drag it and make it, see the plus button, and it's going to get it added. It's going to get added to the check chat. Now let's have a look. Let's check the, there it is. I don't want it there, so I might want to move it here. And remember, this had an opacity of 50%. So, oh, it's hard to catch the edge of it. So instead of trying to click the pencil, you can also click the cog wheel right here. And then you can make it maybe that. Maybe 75%. It's hard to see on these numbers, 75%. And now let's bring, and maybe not that big. I don't want my name to be too prominent. Oops. If any time you do move any overlay, press on your keyboard Command Z, and then it'll make it move back. So that's a little tip today. Okay, maybe there. Okay. And let's bring back Betty. There we go. And then, of course, if you wanted later, if you want to edit the text, you can change the font size. So maybe 36. Let's save that. And then it's a little bit better. But then it does make the name sort of break into, there we go. How's that? there is check chat. And let me show you another little trick. So at the moment, the shape of the custom rectangle and the shape of my camera overlay, okay, it's just front on. But let's do something fancy. This is where we can go a little bit fancy, okay? If you press the pencil icon on both of the overlays, you have many different effects. So you can change the shape, the fill color, the border color. You can have the border width, so you can make that wide or very, very thin at number 1. Okay, but I think I had it at 5. You can change the corner. You can make it really rounded, or no rounded corner. And I think we had it at 27. What if I don't want it all rounded? Maybe I don't want this one rounded. You can click here, boop, boop, and then it makes those corners nice and sharp. Or if you just want one corner to be rounded, up to you, okay? You know, that looks nice, but I will keep mine all rounded at 27. Why you say 27? I don't know, it just looked nice. So whatever, however your brain works well for you. And then you can make it the opaque. So, right, maybe we might make it not so bright white, so then it's not so stark against our own camera. You can rotate it. Ooh, ooh, right? If you want to create lots of different shapes and then have them rotate, you can do that. Let's put that back at 0. This is the magic. You can make it, instead of front facing, you can change, oops, I'm off this. You can change the perspective. Let me show you, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the perspective. And if you go this way, it'll go the perspective, however, that angle or the other way. I like mine somehow, again, some weird numbers, 33. Perspective at that 33-degree angle. Okay, so let's have a look. And then, actually, I don't want it to be that opaque, because then see how the border of the camera, I don't know, maybe I'll make it go back. Yeah, I'll just make it to 100. Okay, and then my camera overlay, I also want to have a perspective. I'm going to move this because I know already that window is going to show up on this side. And then there's the perspective, but I want it to go the opposite way. So we're going to go match it at 33 degrees. I know it's a bit hard to see. Okay. Okay, let's have, look at that. So now when we are popping in a chat, I think this one, if we click on the pencil and edit text, see how here it says text box shrink to fit. Let's make it dynamic, so then it sort of fills up the space, because there's a lot of text on my comment here. Oh, did I may not have hit save. You gotta hit save, Marianne. You gotta hit save. I think I did hit save. We'll try a look one more time. Yeah, okay, let's see if it'll work. Let's go, and so hard to see. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it like that. Maybe I'll shrink it back. Shrink, text box shrink to fit. And then let's now, that's better. That's better. And then let's make that bigger here. Okay. And then if you wanted, I don't think it really matters, maybe you wanted this also a perspective. So then it sort of matched the shape. But since it's very, very, oh yeah, it's already there, 33 degrees. There we go. And as you can see, if you stay till the end and you don't have time to be creating these 3 simple live stream scenes that'll help you to go live sooner rather than later, you stick to the end. I may have a template that you can download. Well, I do, because I'm saying it here. See how I'm looking? So if I'm reading the text and I'm going, Betty says, I'm glad I could catch you live. So if you're here and you want me to pop up your beautiful name and your avatar on screen, then we can do that. So and now because we move the box little bit perspective, it's sort of like you just maybe, what does it look like if I make the my label perspective as well? 33. Yeah, okay. So that's 3 different scenes that we have done today. Okay, so we built the scene. I've kept it very, very beginner friendly. I know I've added a little bit of stuff that I say you shouldn't, but if you're like me, who just go, let me add just one little bit. But please, whatever you do not sweat the small stuff. If the font is not your font or the shadow is there but you want to go live, it's important for you to go live because remember, you want to serve your person, okay? Whoever it is, let me go back to this one. So this is one we created today. Whoever it is or whatever it is you want to share, they're most likely looking for your answer right now. And if you're here stuck in fiddling with the corners, the borders, and you already have something to, go live, it may not be perfect to the way you would want it, okay? Just have a think. If you're too busy trying to perfect everything even before you go live, the person that needs your message right now is missing out, right? If you know you are sharing valuable stuff, so someone might be going, I really want to go live, but I don't know how, or my scenes don't look as good as that creator or that live streamer or that YouTuber, okay? Then if I did that and you needed what I'm sharing right now, and then we pass each other in the middle of the night and never meet, what a sad story that would be. Okay, so I've kept it very beginner friendly, no complicated graphics. Okay, we didn't add any PNG, well, apart from the ones that I had already. Okay, so and no advanced production. So if I wanted, I could just go, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Today I'm going to be talking about this. So let me show you the desk where I'm doing that. And of course, if I also have, something that will help support what I'm talking about, I'm going to, make sure, please turn off your phone. Let's go and make sure to engage in the chat so then we can learn from each other. Okay. And we want to bring some people. Glad that Betty is having a great time, or aha moment, or answered the questions. Okay, just simple native Ecamm tools. All right, so pretty easy. Nothing, just have these 3. Or if you're not, maybe you don't turn on the chat, maybe you don't need to have the check chat scene. Or if you're not presenting anything and you just need just create those 2 scenes. All right, so simple and definitely doable. Exactly. So, let me know how many scenes do you currently, if you're already live streaming, how many scenes do you currently have in your setup? So is it just the 1? Is it 2? Or you have lots of scenes? When I first started using Ecamm, I just created so many scenes. And then, of course, when I go live, it would be so, overwhelming for me that I've just gone, and then I have to clean it up. So let me know if you're already going live, how many scenes, just roughly do you have? Or if you haven't started yet, how many do you think you need? All right, so let me know in the chat right now. So we've done those 3 scenes. We've gone a little bit further with maybe tweaking similar scenes. So then that way you have an idea. And here's a little tip, okay? Don't copy, get inspired. So if you ever see any TV shows, if you see someone doing a TV show or cooking channel and you go, oh, I like how they place their text overlay. Oh, I like how they've done the graphics over there. Take a photo. When you take a photo, you can add it to your Ecamm scene, and you can just, do make it opaque. So then it's just, it's just very faint. It's like tracing. And all you got to do is add your cameras, add your text, add your demonstration, and just make it fit the template. Very important though, do not copy it. Very simple. Get inspired by it. And then you will find out that, oh, actually, I like mine circle instead of a square overlay. When I first started with Ecamm, I loved how Ali Abdal, he's one of the YouTube creators that I watch for productivity and, showing up online and creating YouTube. And I went, oh, I like how he has his demonstration scene, to one side, and I like how his camera scene is over here, and he has all these different graphics. So I did a screen grab, okay? And then throughout time, I developed my own aesthetic setting, because don't get stuck by not having any ideas or having too many ideas. Okay, so really important that. So Betty says, I think I'm going to do the check chat that we created. I think I have 4 or 5 scenes. And a lot of the times that is enough. You don't want to be overwhelming yourself with so many scenes that when you are talking and then maybe something goes wrong, like for me, the mic isn't on, that it'll stump you and you're like now trying to figure out which scene am I on. For me, actually, the way I do my show flows is, these are all for today's demonstration, but I duplicate the same scene. So instead of going back and forth at the moment like I am to this scene, that scene, that scene, I have my scenes one after the other, and then I use my stream deck to just go next, like as if it's like next side, next scene, next scene, next scene, next scene, and I label them. So as you can see here, change the screen share before moving to the next scene. So I use the labels of my scenes as a prompt to help me be able to show up a lot smoother, or if things do go wrong, I know exactly which scene I need to be back on, right? Or if these were all like me scene or copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, which will happen if you are copying your scenes, make it different. So this one is demo scene, circle frame, demo scene side by side, presentation, screen share. Okay, so I normally will have, it may look like in my real show, so this profile is my demonstration profile for today, but in my real shows I will have, cover page, the hook, the intro, the welcome, problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, check chat, like and subscribe, question, solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, depending on if I have text. So I will actually recreate the same scene, so then I am not stuck. So it's like as if you have your presentation or your PowerPoint, you're just moving from scene to scene. That's how my brain works. Some people, they have it, so then they have their stream deck set up, so then when they're pressing a button, it'll go to their demo scene, or it'll go to their talking head scene. So if you have only a few scenes like Betty 4 to 5, you can program a stream deck button like this, where you can just press it and it'll go to that scene. Okay, so because when you have all these different scenes, you're not constantly wondering, where am I supposed to go to next? Okay, so let me just move this so then I'm back. I think this was the one we had, right? So if I had this as a show, I would have it one after the other, but because we created this live in real time, I have to go which one, and I want to use the scene that we created today to showcase how quickly we got up creating these 3 simple scenes. So the point here when you are creating your scene isn't to make every moment look different. The point is to make your live streaming easier to continue. All right, so really important there. All right, so let's quickly have a look. I'm looking at my teleprompter, making sure, I think we are at 1 minute and 14, 1 hour and 14. But what I'll do, the great thing with going live is you have this live stream, you are building your live streaming habit, going live, creating those muscles that if and things go wrong, you are starting to build confidence. But with Ecamm, you can also record. It also records your live stream, so I can repurpose this. So if I know, oh, that bit where I want to show how to, change the perspective, guess what I can do? I can go and edit that out. I can either make that as a short, or if it's a little bit longer, that's, a minute. Because remember, shorts is from 30 seconds to 3 minutes, vertical. But you can also have a short in length and duration of a horizontal. So don't think that, oh, it's only a minute long, that it has to be a vertical. Because the great thing, if you have it on the horizontal layout like this, it can get scrubbed by YouTube search and Google search. And you know how when you sometimes type in Google, how to fix this, and they will just show a clip of a video, you have more opportunities to get found if your title, your description, what you're saying on in your audio answers that specific question. So these are really good to have as well when you are going live. So live, the audience and the engagement is very different, because maybe someone may not want to watch a replay of an hour and 30 minutes. But if they're big dedicated super fans, they will. Okay, so, really important that just go live. And with the so much AI nowadays, you don't even know if that personality is a true person. Going live is a game changer to have that connection. All right, so really good. I'm loving this. Okay, so now we have a full setup. We have our talking scene, our demo scene, right? Stamping, coloring, filling in my planner. If you're crocheting, you're cooking, you have a demo scene. And then you also have, if you are presenting any of courses, you have a presentation scene, and of course you have the chat scene. Technically that's 3 scenes, because this one I am saying 2A and 2B, okay? 2A and 2B. So really that is enough to get you started live streaming. Now, not enough to be perfect, and we are not creating perfection here. That's the last thing we are trying to do, is to be perfect, because even seasoned live streamers, you've watched them, you've watched, big networks and news, something will go wrong, okay? But those 3 simple or 3/4 scenes is enough to help reduce the friction when you are just starting to go live, or you're in the beginning, and those things matter much more. Okay, so 3 scenes. Your talking scene, which is like your home base. They're simple, comfortable, easy to return to. And if you're lucky enough to have a stream deck, then you can use that. But if you are, just using your mouse like I am, and it's not too complicated, you can just move from one to the other. You just move your mouse and you click. Okay, we have our demo scene, and so that one here, all right? One flexible scene for showing your screen, your process, your teaching behind the scene. And then, of course, you have the chat as well, a dedicated moment to slow down, interact with your audience, and create breathing room during your scene. So it's not like always content heavy. Okay, so let me just quickly, I'll go here, and it says leave the live demo. Let's have a look. If I go to options on Ecamm, live demo, so now you will only see my scene. So the important thing is not the scenes themselves. It's that each scene has one clear job. Remember that. I'm not creating the scene so then or it's not that the scene has to be so important, all sparkly and spandangly, right? Each scene has to have one clear job. And that's what's going to make your live stream feel really simple. Okay, so I would love for you, if you've got any aha moments, got any things that, oh, I'm going to add that to my next scene, please give this live stream a thumbs up. As a new channel, YouTube is still trying to figure out who my audience is by clicking and liking and commenting and sharing and engaging in the chat. It tells the YouTube algorithm that, hey, that viewer has these viewing patterns and these viewers also have those viewing patterns. If they're liking it, let me show it to more people. And that is a free way for you to help share my content. And of course, make sure to hit subscribe as well if you haven't yet subscribed. They say nowadays the subscribe numbers isn't as important, and it isn't, because YouTube will show your video if there are people searching for it. And I've seen videos that are in the thousands and they only have 60 subscribers. So don't think that subscribe is the most important thing now. However, it does help later if I do want to be part of the YouTube partnership program and be able to access different features of the YouTube partnership. So I would appreciate that. Now, because setting up, okay, let me just quickly have a look. Let me go here. Okay, because setting up your live stream can feel like a lot, okay, I've talked it through. Sometimes there are people who go, I've followed everything, Marianne, but I can't find it. So hopefully my little Pro Mouse Halo will help you spot them wherever your different windows, Ecamm windows are. But setting up live streaming can feel like a lot when you're just starting from scratch. So guess what I have done? I have put together 3/4, because two are similar, it's just depending on how you want to share something. 3 simple Ecamm scenes you can download and add into Ecamm and customize your own. So let me show you what that will look like. Okay, so I've added my own camera and my own customization. So here we are. This is your talking head scene. Okay, so when you download this freebie that I'm going to share in a second, you will have your camera overlay. So you just got to choose what camera it is. It'll have a text like this. You can customize it. You can add your own logo. So I have my creator notes. That's what, what is the word that I'm trying to say? The method and then the things that I'm sharing in Marianne on YouTube. So that's my little logo with the nice teal circle and the play button. So you will get a scene just like this that you can customize. You will get a scene like this where you can add your own, if you have a second camera or a presentation, and then have, let me see if I can point with my finger on the desk. This one here, right? A camera like this. You can add your own logo if you want, okay? So that's 2. Or the other one is if you are doing presentations, that's 3. And then you can also have a check chat. So here's a little bit different because, of course, I don't want your scenes to be exactly like mine. I got to have my unique point of view. This is great for you to start out with, but later on, if you want to change up, maybe you want to change, your camera a little bit narrower and then the check chat box a little bit wider, okay? You can do so, but I have created it for you. They're beginner friendly and they're meant to give you a starting point so you're not starting or you're not staring at a blank screen trying to work out, what to create first. So is that great? If you are watching this on replay, let me know if you think that's a great idea. You'll get those 4 scenes sent straight to your email. And I have also, what I'm going to do is I've added the QR code right there in the corner. Let me also pop that, the link on how you can grab this yourself. So it says grab 3 simple Ecamm, but it's actually, like I said, on there, it says for beginner friendly, because 2 of them you can go and interchange either to a camera sharing or a screen sharing. Same layout, it just depends on what you want to share. So technically I have created you for free, and that is right, for free. Let me just I'm changing as I go. Correct, what is it, correct spelling, spell check something. Okay, so there's the QR code. So when you click that, you will be brought into this form. Just fill in your name, your email. You will also go into my email newsletter list. If you want to unsubscribe from that, do so, but you're gonna miss out if I create more freebies later and down the track. You know, I do the weekly email newsletter. When you do sign up for any of my freebies or my newsletter, you will get an email welcome sequence. If you don't want that, just delete it, but don't unsubscribe, because once you unsubscribe, you will actually go on the do not disturb email list. And even if you want to come back, even if you fill in more form, due to privacy laws, international privacy laws, and making sure that we honor that you do not want to be spammed, it's harder to get back on the list. You may have to go and ask me, Marianne, I've been subscribing and clicking and I'm not getting any of stuff, because you have to manually subscribe again, being explicit that you do want to come off the do not disturb list. Okay, so if anytime you go, I don't have time to read Marianne's email, just archive it, delete it, but try not to unsubscribe, because the whole point is later down the track, I want to make live streaming and showing up online consistently a lot easier for you, because I have learned for the last 2 to 3 years I've been live streaming. I wish someone helped me along the way, rather than staying up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. trying to research all of this myself. Okay, so also so I have the link as well in the description for you to grab this free Ecamm scenes. Please just make sure to use it for personal reasons. And if you haven't tried Ecamm, there is my affiliate link where you can try Ecamm for free for 14 days. And what you do is, when I send you the Ecamm scenes, okay, so what it will be, let me see if I can go back into live demo. Okay, so here it is going to be called 3 simple scene starter kit, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, because the rest I think that should go right here. Okay, let's go right here. So you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me just show you. I don't think this is oh, because I updated this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So let me just come off live demo. So the freebie you will get, see there, your name and your subtitle or topic, and then you just replace the camera. So that's one. This one, now my camera here is upside down because my camera at the top is the other way around. But if your camera is set up correctly, it'll be the right way up, or you can do the pencil wand and you can rotate your camera so it's facing the right way. But I made sure that I've just kept it as is if your camera is pointing the right way. You can add your logo, your own logo. So all you need to do is delete that one and add, or you can replace. You can have a presentation one, and then of course a check chat one, just like this. All right, so grab the QR code, or check the link in the chat right now or in the description, and then you can grab that for free. When you get the email, I will send you to a Google Drive, because the Ecamm profile file is not your normal Word document or thing. So Once you grab that and you have Ecamm open, all you got to do is drag that file into your Ecamm scenes window, and all those 4 scenes will get auto-populated in your Ecamm scene. So how does that feel? All right, so let me know. I would love to know this, okay? As we wrap up, what 3 scenes would you want ready to go? Okay, so maybe you want the main camera. Maybe you're just going to be a talking head video where you're just doing a welcome video, or just saying, hey, I've got this great new advice, this great new product, this great new crochet, or whatever it is. You might need your main camera. You might need a screen share scene. You might need a product demo or a chat scene or something else. So let me know, if you were creating your simplest live stream setup today, what 3 scenes would you have ready to go? Let me know in the chat, or if you are watching this on replay, type in the comment section, because I do read all of them. Now, if you do want to make running your live stream, let me just make sure I have some way. Where can I go to that? Let's just go to this one. Let's take this off. Now, if you do want to make running your live stream feel even smoother, I would watch the next video that I'll have on the screen. It'll be processed after the live stream. But if you want to know how an Elgato Stream Deck like this or something similar can help make your live stream feel smoother, watch the next video, because I will show you. Whoop, let me just pop that there. I will show you how Stream Deck buttons and how I use it alongside Ecamm to switch scenes just like this, okay, to switch scenes and bring on the correct scene, and I will have that right here. So watch that next. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this has made setting up your live stream scenes feel a little bit simpler. And so what I'll do is I will see you in this next video right here, where I show you my Ecamm buttons on my Stream Deck. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.